yeah, I'll have this recorded, and then obviously if you have any questions, you can just message me directly if that works for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then I'll have the
For
link to
sure,
the
for
review
sure.
sent to you as soon as the session is done. It will take a little bit to upload, but you'll at least have the link to the form right away if that works for you. All right.
Yeah, yeah, that
So,
definitely works.
what got you interested in coaching?
Basically, I've been like kind of hard stuck plat for like years at this point, and I think I just want to try to see what I can improve and to the next level.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Now, I you make it sound like you've been playing for quite a while. So, um,
I have,
when did you get
yeah.
started?
Um, I think season 4 of Overwatch 1 was when I first got started.
Okay. Okay. What
So
got you into the
I'm a
game
OG.
initially?
My friend just he recommended it to me like a while ago, and then
Yep.
I just bought it, and I had a lot of fun, and then 8 years happened,
Okay. Okay.
and so
Makes
yeah,
sense. Now, I'm
yeah, yeah.
seeing here more of a DPS player.
Hmm.
Has that always been the
Definitely.
case, or have you kind of like shifted around over time?
Um, I'm not gonna lie, in Overwatch 1, I used to always play tank before the role queue happened, because no one else wanted to play tank.
Uh
But
huh.
then after role queue happened and after Overwatch 2 dropped, that's when I became more of a DPS player.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, why that pivot?
I just enjoy playing like I really liked Sojourn when she first came out. I think she's really fun. I like Tracer, I like Genji, all that stuff. And tank is just not the best experience in Overwatch 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now let me know when and where this form has been outdated. So it says Plat. It says Hero
Hmm.
Pool, Tracer, Sojourn, Genji, May. Is that still the case?
That's still the case. I've been trying to learn Venture, a little bit of Echo too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. How does that like player breakdown or play breakdown go approximately? Is it like Tracer, Sojourn, Genji, May in that order? And if so, how
Um,
much Tracer versus how much Sojourn? Like how's that percentage approximately breakdown?
I would say it's like 30 Sojourn, 30 Tracer, 20 Genji, and then 20 like everything else, basically.
Okay, so mostly Tracer, Sojourn, Genji. Makes sense.
Yeah, kind of a three trick.
Now, interestingly enough, here you describe yourself as being somewhat casual, correct?
Yeah, I mean, more recently, yeah.
Okay, okay. Why more recently?
I just kind of gotten. I used to grind ranked like almost every day for like several hours, and
Yeah,
I got kind of sick of it. But I'm
sure,
always looking to like improve and stuff.
sure, sure. Yeah, it's tough. Was it more of a just to
Yeah,
enjoy the process as much, or was it feeling like I'm not making progress despite doing all this, or was it maybe
I
a combination of
definitely
both, or something else?
definitely felt like I wasn't making very much progress despite how many hours I was putting in. I just got really frustrated, and then I stopped being able to put in as much time as I want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, there's no point like doing all the diligent work, not getting any result, and then also being like, well, I'm actually not even having that much fun playing either. Because like,
yeah,
let's be honest,
yeah.
if you were playing for 3 or 4 hours and like you were having fun, then you would have kept doing it even if you weren't ranking up. But if you're not having fun, then what's the point? So, do you feel like where
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
at right now in terms of play style or play time? Do you
yeah. Hmm.
feel like you're having more fun with how you're approaching right now?
I definitely have been having a lot more fun recently, so I don't take ranked like as seriously.
Sure.
Um, but I definitely have a lot of moments where I was like done. I started getting off, and I get super frustrated more often too, which I think helps.
Okay. 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 Now,
Yeah.
question. When you say that like
Sure.
you've just been just stepping back and getting done and just like taking time like that, was that it happens to
Hmm.
everybody, right? But do you think that like you've been enjoying the process a little bit more because you've been playing less, or is it something that is it like the psychological pressure of like I've stopped pushing myself as much and I've enjoyed it more? Like is it just
I
the just
think
cutting down your
I think
playtime has
it's
made it
some
better,
of
or is it
the.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's definitely. I think it's more the just lack of pressure because I feel like I don't feel like I have to. I don't want to go in and I'm like sweating my balls off. I'm like hard carrying every
Yeah.
game. I'm just like kind of taking it more chill. I'm still making plays and stuff. It's not like I'm not trying,
Right.
but I'm just having more fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's try and keep it that way. Like even if we do look at your gameplay time and be
Okay.
like, okay, well, this is what you want to do, and like obviously you're here for a session, which want to improve, want to go, but like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
let's try and maintain that because I think it's like one of those things like you can't if you're having a hard time forcing yourself to like really enjoy the process, then just doing more and being more productive is not always like a life hack to really enjoying it. Like you might just burn yourself out, right?
Yeah.
Like you might just straight up burn yourself out. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
try and keep this like relatively light, and then if we can make it more productive or more
Mm-hmm.
positive, then maybe it'll naturally just improve. But I've had sessions before where like the player doesn't actually rank up at all, but they just have like a much healthier relationship with the game, and
Okay.
that's all that matters, right? Like that's even more important in my opinion. So okay,
Yeah.
let's let's keep going here. So I want to improve my mechanics and your positioning. Okay, why are those the things that come up? Like it seems like the pretty vanilla stuff, but why is it specifically for you?
Yeah. I mean, okay, the main thing I'm trying to figure out is just because like I've been stuck like plat diamond for, like a while now, and I just want to see kind of I don't know if it's like a small things I can improve on, just like my fundamentals, or if there's like a bigger overall issues like with my game that
Okay,
stops me from kind of climbing up the high diamond or masters,
okay, okay,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. Okay, and then when you talk about like, your hero pool right now, I assume that you've probably seen
Hmm.
me talk about hero pools before, right? One of the
Hmm.
shortcomings is that you do have a pretty decent amount of heroes that you're playing for not a lot of time. So
That is true. Yeah.
I will say that like again, we want to make sure that we're remaining emphasis on fun, right? Emphasis
Yeah.
on
Okay.
fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it would
Yeah.
be probably
Okay.
the first thing I would say. So let's put it this way: when you're playing your three,
Hmm.
four, or whatever heroes, venture, whatever, are you playing those because you feel like it's what's demanded in the situation and you want to improve at those characters, or are you playing it because you just really have fun playing all of those characters?
Well, I mean, those are the most fun, but I think it also helps that those characters are always pretty good in Overwatch 2. You know what I mean? So it definitely helps that I feel like I can bust those out, and it's not like,
All right.
and basically most situations, yeah.
Sure, sure. I
Yeah.
would say if I had to be like, if you don't get as much joy from your hero pool, I don't know if you do or not, but just maybe some reflection. I would say that is
Okay.
one of those like low hanging fruits to assist maybe with the quality of your play. Like if you could say I would
Okay.
have just as much fun playing Overwatch just playing Tracer, Sojourn, Genji, or I'd have just as much fun playing Overwatch if I replaced Sojourn with Venture and just played those three, then I'd say that's probably going to be a good change. But I will
Okay.
say it's not going to be like the difference between you and Diamond or not necessarily. It might just help a little bit. Okay.
Just like a general improvement. Okay.
Just a general improvement, just something to keep an eye on. And you can always change it too, right? Nobody's saying that you have to play Tracer, Sojourn, Genji for the next 3 months. It might just be for the next two
Yeah.
or 3 weeks, right? That alone is already an improvement. Okay, I want to reach Masters. I would say let's not even set any rank goal with you. Let's just make sure that you're enjoying the game and feel like you're at least learning a little bit more. That's my goal.
Yeah.
With what seems to be more healthy with you, and I would encourage you to pursue that. I have a pretty poor
Mhm.
understanding of the space around me and game sense. Talk to me about that.
So I have gotten like helped by some friends before,
Yes.
and it's a lot of feedback I hear is that I don't take off angles well enough, but also just like my awareness is bad. Like I'm always in positions where I can get shot at by like multiple different angles or like some people, and I don't even realize it until I'm like half HP. Or
Sure.
I think my awareness is just generally not that good, and my
Okay.
positional awareness. Yeah,
So you're
stuff
saying
like
you're
that.
aware that you're unaware.
I'm aware that I'm unaware. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We could practice that one specifically. We'll talk about how we address that in game, especially with the positioning kind of stuff.
Yeah. For sure.
As it is with everything, it is about being aware that it's a weakness, understanding why it's important, which it sounds like you've got those two boxes checked, right? And
Okay.
then it's about what do I need to do about it, right? And a lot of that is just putting
Yeah.
fixation. Like so much of like life skills is just about finding what's important and giving that specific attention. Even if you're not like
Okay.
really sure how to position better, or like not really sure like how to improve, like just being aware that's an issue and giving it attention and doing so consistently makes you better, right?
Yeah,
We
for
could
sure.
we could try and accelerate that process in this review, but just putting extra attention helps. Now, I will say, last thing in your form here is your
Okay.
sleep.
My sleep. Okay.
Is your
Listen.
sleep? It is low, at least at the time of the form, 5 hours or fewer. Now, is that
Listen.
more sleep is that correct, or my is that changed?
It unfortunately has not changed very much.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Now,
I know
is
that
that sleep availability or insomnia? Like, are you just
it's
not giving yourself enough time, or are you just having a hard time sleeping?
it's a little bit of both. I mean, I definitely have sleeping issues, but also I have like 8 a.m. classes, and I don't fix my sleep schedule before, and so I would go to bed at like
Sure.
2 and then wake up at
Sure.
like yeah.
Sure.
But
Sure. Sure.
I do need to
Okay.
work on that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. As it is with everything else, let's put it this way: you're not going to die and fail to get ranked if you don't fix your sleep. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's not make this like an anxiety. It's really not that big of an issue. You'll be fine. But
Okay. 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 Okay.
think about it this way: like let's say 10 years from now, right? What kind of like habits have you developed? Let's try and shift those that habit. Like think about it like you're growing a tree, right? You're growing a tree.
Okay.
If the tree's kind of straggly right now, or like leaning up against the fence when it should be like postured up, like, or you can't stake it or whatever. I don't know anything about growing trees, bro. I'm making this up. Like it's not gonna be a big deal, like for now, but like it would be nice to have like a little bit of support here and some fertilizer here, or like
Okay. Okay.
compost, or a little bit of getting in
Okay.
the habit of watering it once a week, or like just like let's say it this way, like if you could get to the point where like you have slightly better sleep hygiene, like hey, I avoid screen times 15 minutes before I go to sleep, or I try to take a hot shower before bed, or I try to make sure that I give myself at least 5 hours of sleep 90% of the time, right? Not 7 or 8, but just 5. Like let's just check the low boxes here. It's just going to make your quality of life so much better in the long run, and it is going to affect your Overwatch performance as well.
For sure. For sure. Thank you,
But
Dr.
yeah,
Spila.
yeah, no problem. And just don't sweat it, because like I said, you can operate on lower stuff. It's not going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't want it to let it to be like it's become such an obsession that it like ironically it screws up your sleep. Just it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. Just work on it over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, like treat it as like a 5-year plan, like literally, like unironically, treat it as like a 5-year goal. That like by the time I'm like, well, how old are you right now?
I am 21.
Yeah, so like by the time that you're 26, you're sleeping 9 hours perfectly like a baby.
Okay. Okay.
It's not gonna,
Increase-
yeah. Like you think about how slowly you could get there, right? Like you need like even just
Okay,
this next month, right? You're no rush, but just do start to implement some things long term. Okay. I don't
fair,
have any
that's
other
fair.
questions. Do you have any other questions for me?
Okay. So I actually have 2 questions before
Please.
I hop into the replay.
Let's do it.
So one question is also a general thing. I'm kind of bad at planning out what I want to do before a fight when I get
Yes.
into the fight. I know general tips like I always take high ground. I always blah blah blah. But I don't really think about like I don't know. Like I enter a fight with like I don't manage my cooldowns very well, and I don't have like slide or something. I don't have a game plan on how I need to get to the supports or whatever. So I feel like that's something I need to work on.
Okay. This is my favorite type of question because it's the easiest coaching in the history of the world,
Okay.
but it is the most valuable coaching in the history of the world. You know how you improve like your positioning or your planning pre-fight?
Yeah.
You just do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
You just do it. In fact, I wouldn't even necessarily create too many rules. I might, if for Coach Spiloing here, I'm gonna be like, probably gonna be an angle, probably playing your range, like probably
Okay.
having some cover, right? Angle, range, cover. It's the car positioning is what I like to call it, like cover, angle, range, right? Those are probably some good rules to have generally. But you know what? You could even throw those out. Just look at the situation and be like, what should I do? And if you don't know, think
Okay.
about it, give it a shot, see how it goes, do it again. It's like there's a lot like I'm in the sprinting community because I really like speed training a lot. And it's really funny how like there's a lot of discussion about like how do you get faster, how do you get faster, how do you get faster. And there's a lot of little details here. There's a lot of little details here about like what you need to do here, what you can do there, and how you could improve this or how you could improve that.
Yeah.
But a lot of getting faster just boils down to just going outside in grass, turf, on barefoot, with shoes, with cleats, whatever you got, and just 2 or 3 times a week, just running as fast as you can for 4 or 5 times, and that's it.
Just do it. Okay.
Yeah, and just do that for years because it's a slow. And that's a lot of times that's what it comes down to. So if you want to get better at planning, just plan. Just plan.
Okay.
And
just
what
try
we
to
could
consciously plan.
Right, exactly. And practice it over and over again, even if you completely beef it. And if you're not sure like what you should have done, the obvious solution is to go back in the replay viewer and look at it in a little bit more of a controlled, slow environment. Where you could kind of start to think and go, I wonder if I should have done that. Okay, no, that's good, or that's bad. Or actually, you know what? It's what's going to happen is like 50% of the time at least, you're not going to know what the correct answer was, but you might be able to come up with an idea to try next time. And you'll learn.
Okay.
You'll learn. And let's do that this review. Let's practice that skill set. And I will be here to correct you if I think what you did is stupid, but I want you to you to look stupid first. That's the goal.
All right. Okay. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. It's a great question.
It's just kind of hard when I'm like mid game and like, you know,
there's
like 10 million things happening. But
It is hard. The way to help with that is instead of being like, be very specific about what you're trying to plan or what you're trying to fix. Like if you're thinking like, what should I be doing this next fight? Think about like, what angle should I try to hold, or what should I do with my cooldowns, right? Or how do I want to use my ultimate? Those are instead of like thinking about like globally, try to think like break it down into an ingredient. And even if you mess up the other ingredients, like you're gonna be so freaking good at this, or I'm gonna get that part.
Yeah.
It is complicated, right? It's okay. So the way to improve is to not get better at thinking about everything. It's to get better at thinking about individual details. So you could start to compartmentalize those skills, and then you could start to because all multitasking is adding things to your autopilot skill list.
Okay, that's a good point actually. Try to autopilot some of these small details.
Right. And but to be able to autopilot things effectively, you have to do it over and over again. Like think about like walking and talking on your cell phone, right? Kids learning how to talk, it takes a lot of effort. Babies learning how to walk takes a lot of effort. Yet you and I can do it effortlessly. Why? Well, because we've done it millions of times.
We just know how to do it automatically.
Right. So now I can walk, I could talk, and I could bounce a tennis ball in my hand. That would take a little bit of attention away from my talking, right? I might get a little distracted. But what if I did bouncing with a tennis ball for a month? Well, now I'm doing 3 things effortlessly. So now I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm bouncing a tennis ball, and I don't know, doing arm circles. Like what could you do with your other hand? Like juggling, like, right? And then that would be really hard. And then all of a sudden I'm doing 4, like that's how the human brain works. Human brain is amazing, right? Like it develops patterns. So, but it does happen. Like imagine if you try to a baby trying to walk, talk, bouncing a tennis ball. It's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Any other questions? I think you said you had 2.
I had one more. Okay, so this is kind of an overall mindset thing. So if I feel like I'm being like outclassed or something, or I feel I'm not super confident going into a matchup or something, I kind of just have like a defeatist attitude. Like I kind of give up. Like I've been, I think my peak is Diamond 2. So I've played against like Masters players and stuff, and like I generally like I don't think I'm that good yet, but I just feel like I kind of give up and I just kind of start trying as hard. I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna lose here, so whatever. I'll just, I don't know. I'm not if I'm making sense, but.
Think about it this way. You're not expected to perform well in that situation, right?
Okay.
But it is an opportunity, right? It is an opportunity to get your teeth kicked in and learn. So when you walk into that, first off, the matchmaker doesn't expect you to perform well, right? Like let's say that it's a wide group, right? Like let's say there's a Masters DPS and like a Plat tank, right? If you are the Plat tank playing versus the Masters tank on the enemy team, whereas your DPS are popping off, like your DPS are expected to diff the other DPS, and the enemy tank is expected to diff you. That's normal.
I see.
So you don't have to go into that game and feel like, oh, there's a lot of pressure. I remember my first streamer game, I felt like a lot of pressure, and then I realized that there was some other like high masters bozo like me, and the other team sweating his cheeks off as well. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we're in this together, so I just have to do better than he does, and that's really what it is. That's really what it is. Now, it does mean that you're going to die a lot. You're going to get punished. You're going to mess up. You're going to screw up. You're going to get killed. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's part of the learning process.
It's part of the learning process. Exactly. So you just accept it. Also accept the fact that you're going to be a little bit frustrated because it's just human nature to be like, I'm getting diffed and this doesn't feel good. Like you don't have to be like, oh, I'm happy that I'm getting diffed. It's
Yeah.
still
Okay.
it's not fun. It's why like I think that like wide group practice could be really bad because it's just not very, even if it is balanced, it's not super enjoyable. But you can at least tell your emotional self, hey, this is the logical self. It's okay, buddy. Don't let it get to you too much. You know what I'm saying? This is expected.
Okay.
This is inevitable. And then you could also learn things from that matchup too.
Yeah, so just try not to beat myself up too much over it.
Too much, right? You're going to beat yourself up a little bit. Like, let's be honest here, right? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But don't worry too much. Like, oh, it's the end of the world. Like, you're not the reason that you guys lost. Okay, necessarily. Like, I've had this happen. That's part of the reason why I stopped playing quick play with my friends way back in the day, my IRL friends, because I was so much higher ranked that I couldn't really make mistakes, you know. But it wasn't like my low rank friends were at fault, right? Because the other guys had just as many low rank players. It just kind of made the process for me less fun. So okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Good question. Any other questions?
That's it from me. Let me get a replay code real quick.
Sick.
Yeah. Not tragic. I had another replay code prepared, but then an update hit.
Yeah, was it Thursday? I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But yeah.
Something like that. But yeah. But I got a few games in. So
all right, works for me. Now, why this code in particular?
So I got, it was a pretty close game. I got some good Tracer and Venture gameplay on. It was between this and another like pure Sojourn code, but I feel like this was a closer game, and
which one
kind
are
of
you?
want more
I don't
tips
see
on my.
Grumpy Kitten.
Oh, oops. I'm leave.
Your leave. Ah, I see.
Maybe on and off. Yes.
Who wins in a 1v1 on Tracer? You or leave?
I mean, that leave guy,
He's a little washed, I think.
he's a little bit. He hasn't played for a little bit.
True. I think easy. I think one clip. I think instantly. Personally.
I mean, I could just easy one clip. I mean, he couldn't even win the World Cup. Like, come on now.
That's true. What a fraud, man. What a fraud.
What a fraud, dude. Oh my God.
So true. Actually, so true. Okay, so let's practice what we said we're gonna practice. Like, I'm pretty sure you have a good idea of like I understand my limitations in terms of like my awareness, and I understand my limitations in terms of I don't think as many flanks as I ought to. Okay, so you're not a Tracer wizard necessarily. So let's focus, instead of your cooldowns here, let's focus on your positioning. Where should you be? Where could you go? What are your options? Give me some options here.
So here I go onto that high ground because I can kind of like blink onto that high ground and pressure hit scan, even though I don't do that.
But that was the idea. Okay, so you screwed it up. You screwed it up. You suck at the game, right? But okay, so what do you think? What do you think about the idea of what you did? Was that good? Was there a better plan available? And if it wasn't good, why? If it was good, why?
So I think here I did get a bit impatient. Like I didn't wait for my tank to go in, and I didn't wait to see if like anyone would go to the point or be actually set up on high ground.
I agree with you.
When I went, no one was even there. Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you, but I want to move away from you reviewing yourself, and I want you to instead coach yourself. In other words, I want you to grade yourself on how much intention you went in with. Like right now, you're like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, but you didn't even do what you were doing here in the first place, which was to go to this high ground. That's just your plan. You didn't even do that. So would that have been a good play? Like obviously, your brain was off in la la land here. Okay, so but would this have worked?
Well, I feel like I didn't know what supports were there at the time. I don't think it would have worked. I mean, they were just 3-stacking on the high ground, and
okay, was there a better angle elsewhere?
1v3. Yeah.
Where?
A better angle. A good question, actually. Maybe I could take the other high ground, or maybe I could go into that building on the right.
So like over here or here? You mean over here?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, which one? Give me one.
I'd say the building on the right.
Like this one here?
Like where kind of where the health pack is. Or,
like here?
Maybe that one. Yeah.
Oh, you're scamming with your left and right. You mean like this one here?
Yeah.
Okay, why? Why do you like this?
I would be able to blank back to point in case the Reinhardt or Venture pushes.
Okay. What are
Yeah.
you looking for when you're playing Tracer? What does Tracer want? Like, if we're just gonna keep it really simple here, what do you want?
Try to get into the back line
Okay.
and harass the supports. And
Okay.
tickle
So
the
are you
tank.
in a good backline slash harass position from here?
I am currently not.
Well,
Well,
would you be if you were on my camera positioning? Because we're talking about this building, right? What do you think?
yeah. Okay, not really. I don't have a good high ground angle or anything.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Was there anything to shoot that wasn't on high ground?
There was the Venture, but obviously the Venture can just dash to high ground.
This too, right? I mean, it's Ryan's not optimal.
And
but
the Rhine. Yeah, that's true.
you could angle on the Ryan, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then Ash drops. Okay. I don't know. Let's consider. What do you think if you're planning here?
I was just trying to get on the high ground because I saw the supports up there.
I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to
Okay,
do.
so
I want you.
I'll-
So you don't have to tell me. I know exactly what you're doing, but I want you to tell yourself, was this a good plan? Because remember, that's what we're here for, is right? So we wanted to practice making a plan and judging the quality of those plans. Was this a good plan?
I think I would say no because I spent a lot of time going around the building and walking up the stairs instead of helping my Winston with the engage.
Okay, but like, let's say that you got here earlier. Would the idea of what you did be okay?
I think so.
Hmm.
Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, what's actionable then? What have we learned so far? You came up with a good plan, and then failed to execute entirely,
Yeah.
and then came up with an alternative plan, but then took too long to get there, so that by the time that you got there, the fight was kind of already over. Not over, but like the main teeth.
It was already
finished.
happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So far so good. Let's keep going. What do you think of this plan? Stalling
Probably
point?
not the best plan.
Why is that?
This is a bit better.
Because you were
just
attempting
kind
to
of-
stall point, right? I know what you're trying to do.
Well, I was stalling point, but I gotta help my Winston engage the backline first, and then solve the point. I think it would have had time to do both.
Why would that have been better?
It would just be able to clean up more
Sure.
because the Life Weaver and the Ash were already getting dived on.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if anything comes up where you're like, I actually don't know the answer to this question, or like, I want your advice or I need your help with this, let me know.
Okay.
So just like, obviously we're being like, bam, 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 bam. Tell me. But if anything is like, you're genuinely want my advice, let me know. Let me know.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think you're doing great so far. You're doing great.
Let's go.
So what we've seen is sometimes that you don't always have the best plans in execution. But actually, so far
Okay.
you've done okay. The idea of taking high ground here isn't a bad idea, right? We might have had to give it up because of the 3-stack, but it was a reasonable idea. And then the flank behind you was all right, and even stalling point was all right. But it's the execution of how those plans is not great. Specifically, how quickly you're making those plans, or honestly, just even doing what you tended to do in the first place, right? You get kind of sidetracked, right? Okay, so what's the plan here? What's the plan here? And by that, I mean, what's the position specifically?
Well, I should. Well, I know they're all on low ground. I think the building that we were talking about in the first fight would not actually be a bad position.
Like this one here?
Because the Briggs over here, the supports and the McCree is over in this building.
So
I could blank over there. Yeah.
You're breaking the rule of coaching. You're hindsight coaching. You're coaching your
sorry, I know.
previous self with information that you didn't possibly have in that moment. So the question is, would this have been a reasonable rollout even if they weren't on the low ground? Would this still have been a good spot?
I feel like I'll give in. Can you give me some
Yeah, sure.
advice here, or like,
Do you remember when you took this high ground to stage to top from here, right? You're here.
yeah,
Why did that not work?
it worked because I took too long to get up,
Right.
and then they had already dropped down.
Will that be a problem here if you're here to start?
No, because I can't have time to set up.
I agree. I think this position is reasonable. Now, this is the best part. There might be a little fear in you right now, like, oh, good, I got the right answer, but I kind of lucked into it, right? Like, what if I chose this angle and it like ends up not working out, and I ended up getting there late, right? Well, the answer is it doesn't matter, because at least if you choose this angle here and it doesn't work, you've learned something.
Okay.
You don't need to make the right choice. You just need to make a choice. And right now, this is not really a choice. This is just you existing. You could also start here. See how this feels. Hide here. You could also, I don't think you can, I don't know if you can stand it. Maybe you can stand this. Anyway, choose an angle. Like, is this bad here? Will you be too late? Will you be able to wrap around behind? I don't know. Just make a choice.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, you're 100% right. Congratulations. I really like this left building here. I think it's a good, nice short off angle. You can harass and distract on the floor. You can wrap around behind. If they push, you can back off. It's good. It's good. Good choice of position. Nice job.
Thank you.
Now, to be fair, this is also not too bad. The problem was that you weren't here in the first place. And so it was a question of not whether, is this going to work, but was this an active, conscious decision, or was this just happenstance?
Okay.
What do you think of your plan now? Because I know what your plan is now. It's good to just kind of chill, wait for a second, and then keep distracting, right? What do you think of that plan? Is that a good plan?
I think it's a good plan. I mean, I'm behind. I'm not in danger of the Cassidy right now.
Uh-huh.
But then that happens.
What was the mistake here?
I didn't realize they were all in there, and
you knew they were all in there. You know,
okay.
you knew at least two people were in there. Maybe you didn't know that the Winston Adventure's in there, but you knew the Moira and Brig were. This is risky no matter what. This is like saying, I dove into a 5-foot pool, and it turned out to be 3 feet. My bad. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's still a 5-foot pool, bro. Right? So what's the mistake here? What's the mistake?
Just bad awareness of where the enemy was, but also
no. But I disagree. Right? I disagree.
Okay.
Right. I think you knew where the enemy was, at least enough to educate this decision better. So what's the mistake?
Okay. Well, I just kind of inted.
Right. That's it. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
You just didn't need to force the kill here. You're on a good angle. You're pressuring. You're distracting. Just be patient. Just don't force the kill. You're good. If this Moira had been 1 HP, that's worth the risk, right? If you have to dive into a 5-foot pool for $1,000, okay, it's still not a smart play, but I understand, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Right? But there was nothing that I see here that says, oh, that makes sense, right? Maybe it's the fact that you're close to pole spawn. That might have educated your decision, but even then, it's just silly.
Even then, not the best idea, yeah.
When you have a good angle, you don't have to necessarily force your pressure. It will just happen naturally. That's all.
Okay.
That being said, you get an F for initial plan. You get a B for your mid-fight plan, how you adjusted and went to backline. And then again, you get an F in terms of your execution. So it's interesting to note that mid-fight, you kind of reacquire your off angle. You just didn't really set yourself up or execute very well once you had that off angle.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously here, need to wait for a team. Ooh, maybe you're just the GOAT.
I don't need no team.
I guess not. My bad. Pole Sun versus Winston, very good now. Very good now, because the 30% damage reduction's gone, right? So, it's just, I mean, look at that HP. It's insane. So just chill. Now, what's the plan? You're fine, by the way. It's 70 damage.
Yeah.
So, like, you're going to be fine. So, what's the plan now? Give me a plan. I know you're in a rush. But you could at least make a small micro plan here. What do you think? Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to ask you what you think. I'm going to see what you do, and then we'll ask what you think. Okay. Now, what do you think? Because you've clearly committed to an action.
I think just push point and try to harass the supports while my Winston Sojourn gets set up.
You're on an angle, right? You're on a short angle.
Yeah.
Looks good to me. You got to be careful. Looks all right to me.
Okay. Oh, this is
And
okay.
see, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is where you have to be objective. You screwed up. You screwed up. But
Okay.
great plan. Really well done. And it worked. It worked too, because look.
Okay.
Pull Brig's attention. Brig falls back to point. Moira's looking at you. Nobody's helping the Cassidy or Venture, who needs double pocket right now. So there's whip shot. There's drill dash. Now Moira goes the attention. Brig needs help. And because they have not supported their DPS and instead have turned their attention towards you, you assisted your team in recapturing this point.
Okay.
To a pretty significant amount. Not that you didn't carry, but I mean the pulse on Winston was nice. That was the carry, right? But it was you just did your job. You did your job. You did good enough. Good job.
Thank you.
And that all started with because you had an idea of what to do. And you notice that we didn't have to sit there and analyze like, did you have an off angle or did you take high ground? No, screw off with all the details. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Just look right now. Should you be in high ground? Should you be in low ground? Should you be in front? I don't know. Figure it out. Where should you go? Actually, I lied. Again, I gotta break this habit. I want to see what you do first. I want to see what you do first.
Okay.
I really want to see what you do first and judge the plan from there. Okay.
This is not a great plan. Admittedly.
Why? And then we could critique the mistake of the plan right now. You're already screwing up. Why?
I walked out of my angle.
Yes. This isn't really. This is just you kind of front lining here.
Yeah.
So what small adjustment should you have made here? Very small.
I could have played in the left building.
Yeah, just here.
A little bit of cover. Yeah, there we go.
Just chill, or at least make them look this way just a little bit, right? Just because like this is a big giant clump. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like you could have also tailed, right? That would have been fine too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fine. Just
So basically anything other than walking right into 6 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about your plan now?
I think it's okay. I mean, I'm just behind the supports and the DPS.
Yeah, looks okay to me too. Yeah, I mean they obviously use coalescence, but like this looks okay to me, right? Now I know that you brought up timing as something that you need to be aware of. This one is more of like that mid-fight timing with when do you really want to crank up the heat from this position?
Okay.
Based off of the timing of your team. Look at your comp. Look at the situation. What do you think? What are you waiting for? Think carefully.
Probably my Winston to jump in.
Yeah. Some sort of pressure. So this is okay. Just be a little cautious because you're going to get a lot of attention right now.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Brig. And so you're waiting now. I actually think you could have kept shooting if you'd have liked to, just as long as you're corner peeking cautiously. But honestly, I think outside the start of this fight, this was a very, very solid fight for you.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Brought it back.
You did a good job. Okay. Wait, what?
You missed my stick, bro.
Wait, I thought you were dead.
Nah, bro. I'm the good.
You're just the guy. Like all you need to do is lose a fight, and then all of a sudden you're just like legitimately like Hevster and Tracer.
I turn into leave unironically.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it right there. Yeah, as long as you live here, yeah, you should be fine.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, what's the plan? What do you think of your plan here?
Again, my plan is to push point and try to pressure the supports.
Yeah, seems reasonable. Again, just comes down to a question of timing, right? You don't need to. This is not bad from you at all. Let's just be careful to like fully commit here until they're okay. Now we can fully commit, right? Yeah, like a good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, frick. So that ult goes from like completely useless to broken. It's always useless when it's useless when I'm the one using it.
Oh yeah. It's one of those.
That's how it works. Freaking Jeff Kaplan, man, guy's torturing Overwatch from the grave.
You just don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just hates DPS players. I don't know.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm. Oh no!
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
To be very clear, again, I think that this fight was very reasonable from you.
Okay, thank you.
Mostly because you've not had to think too hard about your planning outside of just angle on point and shoot. But I think you've done fine.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh.
My Chungus mercy.
Okay, that's understandable. She was dead either way, so
Yeah.
this is just essentially a very messy mechanical fight where, to be perfectly honest, a little bit of elo hell going on here because I actually think you've played pretty reasonably. Your team has just crapped the bed repeatedly, so that has not helped.
That's fair.
But we have seen that you do struggle in the pre-fight setup as part of your planning. Mid-fight, you understand and read and set up angles. You pressure squishies, you do all the reasonable tracer things. But sometimes pre-fight, you just get a little bit sloppy with it, and it screws you up.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
What else are you seeing? What is your read of your play? What's the root source cause? Like, what's the cause here of all our shenanigans?
I think some of it is also that I'm impatient with my engagements too.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah. That I would agree with that. Any questions so far?
I guess some of it is, I don't know, how could I position myself better pre-fight based on like what you've seen? Because I mean, a lot of it is I just don't have awareness for where the enemy team is as much. Although I know you kind of
you just answered your own question.
Okay. Well,
how do I say that? Have awareness of where the enemy team is and then make a decision around that. I promise you, like, if you did even with only 5 or 10 seconds to legitimately have, like, realistically have in it, you'd make a good decision. And remember, even if you don't make a good decision, you practice making decisions, which is what you need to practice.
Okay.
Right? So, like, right now, your plan is to go left. You don't really know where the enemy team is for sure. That's how Koth works. But based off of what you know, you have enough information to make a decision here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get, obviously you know what you did here. So let's see what happens and we'll grade the quality. Mistake.
Grade the quality.
Why?
Okay, this is this might be like maybe an A- instead of an A. Not sure.
Oh, I would say a lot lower than an A-. You're no longer on an angle. I mean, look at this. This is like, you ever see the Tiananmen Square massacre picture of you're seeing it from the tank? This is basically what we got here, right? Like, what the frick are you doing? There's guerrilla warfare, bro. Guerrilla warfare. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, you had a free angle. You saw a squishy and you heard Winston. You heard nothing here. That should tell you something. This angle's free. Heck, you could even just sit here and wait for a little bit more information and then go from there. This is insane.
Yeah.
And now look at where you are.
Now I have to use all my planks to get back into.
You said something very interesting. I asked you what's the root cause here. You said, I think I'm a little bit impatient. That looks like the case here, right? I mean, I don't know for sure, but it definitely looks like it. This looks like impatience.
I think that's a good guess, I think, yeah.
And it's funny because it's affecting it's not just the angle is bad. It's also the timing. Like, this is always a bad play as Tracer. But this is especially bad because what the frick? Like, what, like, oh my
team
days.
is just not there.
Like, they're not anywhere close to being there. Go ahead.
Sorry, there's a train going right outside my apartment.
Oh, no worries. I didn't hear anything. You're good.
Oh, okay, you're good. Okay, yeah.
So, like, what ends up happening is that you're kind of forced onto the right angle instead, which I don't like as much. I think it's a lot more like it's harder to get an angle in this position. But it's not even like we're not even judging, oh, this is a bad angle from you. You didn't mean to go here. That wasn't your initial choice. You started here.
Yeah.
And then you were like, crud. And you just, like, took the first available escape option. And then, of course, it's going to end up in a bad spot, right?
Yeah, okay.
You were impatient. You wanted to go now. You didn't want to set up. And then now you're kind of stuck in a bad spot. Now, again, I want to applaud you for your mid-fight adjustments. Your mid-fight adjustments are almost always good, right? You're like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. I'm going to wrap around cover. I'm going to sneak. And now I'm on a perfect off angle. There we go.
Okay.
It just,
a little bit of
and there it is, right? Like, there it is. Like, there's Tracer. Congratulations, everyone cheered. But where has that been the last 15 seconds?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You know? And you could even look at it from like retaking your angle mid-fight too. Like right here, like obviously things are kind of messy, but where could like the end goal be here for you? Give me a couple of options.
I would say just get back onto an off angle where I can see the supports again.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe
Where
go
would that
around
be?
the right side.
You could.
Um,
See, maybe save if your blinks, like blink, blink, get to like here, right?
Yeah.
You could retake left again and do this. They're a little far, but like you could do this here. Yeah, exactly. Heck, you could even sit here on the mega and like mark. It's not optimal. It's the same, but it's like better than this. The problem is here is that like again, there's no setup. There's an impatience, and then in your urgency, you get comboed.
Yeah.
By somebody that you weren't even looking at because you weren't on
Yeah.
you weren't on the clock, right? You weren't around the enemy team. You weren't set up. So I think with you, it's not a question of, oh, I don't know how to play Tracer. I don't know how to take angles. You're showing us clinic of Tracer positioning every mid fight.
Okay.
But it's how you start, and your impatience always screws you over.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you necessarily need to be going all the way to the back line, right? Like, all right, now I'm ready to flank, guys, right? But at least do a little bit of thought, a little bit of preparation here. Okay, so let's take some notes before we jump into Venture here really fast here. So pre-fight setup, think about your plan, then practice patience. When on a good angle, don't need to force action and get yourself killed. Consistent and patient pressure. There are obvious exceptions to that rule. If somebody's low, it's worth the risk. Like we said, that $1,000 for the 5-foot dive, right? It makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody's low, you got recall, man, go for it. Recall is the get out of jail free card, so use it aggressively, but use it once you're already in a position to have success, right?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. That's fair.
Okay. Do you have any questions with Tracer before I assume we just jump into Venture now?
Am I better than J3?
I mean, at this point in time, like comparing you to J3 is just an insult to you.
You're right.
I can't even believe that's the first person you think of. Leave, I get it. You know, your guy has at least a little bit of a pedigree, but like Jay, really, you can do better. Now,
I know, man.
the funny thing about Venture,
Okay.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
I like Venture, by the way, here. I think much narrower map, so there's a lot more opportunity for you to be using like intelligent angles and so on. But you got time to set up here. There are options. What do you think?
Oh, it's the same thing as the Tracer, right? Just take an off angle. Probably go to the left side here.
Yeah, you could go left side here and poke here. Heck, you could even stay exactly where you are. But if you were to stay here and just poke, what small adjustments could you make with your positioning that would significantly improve your safety, efficacy, all those other fancy words? This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is one of those that
Check this out.
Okay.
Ready for this one? This will blow your mind.
Oh shit.
Now you're good.
Whoa.
Unreal, really. Just find a better source of cover, and instead of putting yourself like here,
yeah.
like you can put yourself here and control both lanes, and then also not have anything shooting you in the back potentially, or that's it. But yeah, go left, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. You know, go right. Here,
like a million.
But there's so many options, right? There's so many options. Now, maybe I wouldn't go here because you might get poked out, but there's actually like an unbelievable amount of choices for you, and this is just like the laziest, most useless one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. This is good. Kind of gatekeep that angle. You're just down one, because you just didn't do anything at the start of the fight. So even a good action done too late is irrelevant, right?
Okay.
Good try. You almost get the trade. It's fine. You almost got like 2 there. That would have been sick. You could have also done like let's say the safer, more cheeky play here would have been this is a lost fight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot, burrow, drill dash, and just kind of like see, all right, come on, chase me, chase me, chase me, chase me, chase me.
Oh,
Pop
yeah,
up,
yeah,
waste
yeah.
more time. If they chase you, you guys get more point flip. If they don't chase you, you're already staged for next fight. I think what you did though was fine. Like again, like your plan here was clearly to like, we're lost. Let's see if I get a trade here. You almost got it. It was fine.
Unlucky.
But the more mobility your character has, so this is Tracer, Sojourn, Genji, Venture, the more responsibility you have to actually have a plan.
Yeah. That was
Now,
not
this
a good
one,
plan right there.
well, I mean, it was a pretty reasonable idea, right? Like, you could go up here, contest the Venture. I mean, it's a 50-50 duel. You guys have both used, I think. Okay, so, you know, maybe a little risky because you didn't know the status of Drill Dash on their end, right? But the major problem here is a question of timing. That's the problem.
Yeah, I didn't really have my team with me.
Yeah. So I actually think that this plan was like not. I would give it like a C. Okay, C minus.
Okay.
It wasn't an F. You had an idea of what you wanted to do. You took a bit of an angle. You're taking a 1v1. That's all right with me. Just you don't die to Venture here. You died to Cassidy.
I died to the Cassidy. Yeah.
Right. You died to Cassidy. Why is the Cassidy looking at you? Right. Why is he not looking at something else? And then obviously, go ahead.
Because my team just wasn't there. There was nothing else for him to distract him. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Remember, the more mobile your character, the more choice options you have. The more options you have, the more responsibility you have to make a good choice. That's where mobile characters find their skill expression, right? Because you can't just sit in the back and shoot people like you can with other characters. Now, I'm not saying that Cassidys don't have to take angles and Widows don't have to take angles. They do, but they have less mobility, so they have more range. If they have more range, then you get your choices of positioning are a lot simpler.
You can just sit in an angle and just wait for people to come in.
Pretty much, right? With you, you got to be really smart. Nice. Really like playing this character. I'm not gonna lie.
I love Venture. She's so fun. Or they're so fun with it.
So much fun. So much fun. I remember when they were doing. This is gonna be a bit of a leak, but I remember it's off of NDA now. I remember when they first showed us Venture, and the first thing they were like showing the ability breakdown, and then we throw us Drill Dash, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's cool." And then they like the Venture and the example like looks into the air and just Drill Dashes straight up in the air. We were not expecting that at all. We were like, literally everybody cheered. It was like, no way, that's so cool. Yeah. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
I think is probably like a B tier plan. I think you could do way better sitting up here or sitting up here just because the verticality provides like a little bit more safety and a little bit more vision. You get me?
I see.
But you do have a plan. Right?
I have a plan.
There's a strategy behind what you're doing. You're expecting something, right? Now, again, I want to be very clear that you're noticing a clear tendency that a lot of your plans are flanks. Okay, let's be honest here. Part of that is that's just how you play the game. But part of that is also just the characters that we're coaching right now. But
That's true.
My point is if you have a plan, even if it's misled, like let's say that your plan here is like, I'm going to sit in the back line here, and all I'm going to do is punish their Venture for committing. Okay? It's not a good plan, but at least it's a plan. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so
and if you build that, right. Just think about like what am I going to contribute this fight? Who do I want to harass? Where do I want to set up? Right? Even if it's a bad setup, figure it out. Now, obviously, we're biased towards flanks, as I said, because of the nature of the characters that you're playing. But yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like this is going to work.
I had to reload.
But it doesn't matter. It's worked. It's already worked, right?
Yeah.
You didn't reload? There's no way. There's no way. I mean, you could have meleeed here as well. That would have finished it. But yeah, like I mean, it's worked. This fight's over.
I got it anyway.
Yeah, it's a great angle. Like I could tell. Like the second that was set up, I knew it was over. Because even though you only got quote unquote one kill, it's over. Like you create, like it was like you just completely made them crap their pants, and like you forced all these cooldowns and all these intentions. It took all this pressure off your team, and it still was on their backline. Like they still had to run to point, knowing that you're lagging somewhere behind. It's like a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
And then you win, and you just win. So like, yeah, just easy. Okay, let's keep going here. Any questions so far?
I think we've covered most of it. I mean, you think? Okay, this is a general question for Venture. Sometimes when I play Venture, I find myself taking deeper off angles or like flanks than Tracer.
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
You think that's generally true for the character, or?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that is going to be more true than not, just because you do have some form of self-sustain, right? Like the ability to generate shields, and obviously the heal passive now that everybody has is like a major buff to harder flanks, right? The other thing as well is that because you have like less direct mobility through blinks, like you need to use your abilities. It might be better to like set up like immediately and then go into the fight with full abilities, right? So Tracer could do more of the mid-fight stuff. Venture kind of has to like wants to be in the best spot possible right as the fight starts. And that might mean that you set up deeper so that you're ready to go immediately, right? Like think about that fight right there. You were on a deep flank and you were ready to go. You were on the Ana with all your cooldowns, right? Immediately.
Yeah.
I also think that coincidentally, Venture has worse range than Tracer as well. So that means that you're often forced to do much more deeper, silly things because you just can't reach people, right? Whereas Tracer, it's like, remember the Ryan when you're on the left building? And I was like, you could shoot Ryan from here, right? On the previous round, or the first round, excuse me. You couldn't really do that with Venture as much, right? So are there situations where you hold a soft angle with Venture and poke? Yes. 10, 15% of time. Something like that, 20% of the time, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. Heck, if we go back here, if you want to get super spicy with it, if you were like, let's say like a backline that you can't assassinate that easily, you could go in this fight here, and instead of here and hiding, you could sit up here and poke.
Oh, that would reach the ground from there. Yeah,
it would, right? And you would be like, I'm giving myself away. I don't care. I'm not playing for the assassination anymore. I don't care. I'm just getting higher uptime of a lower value currency. Whereas this is an all-in on a burst. So you could be like, I'm still taking, but so even when I'm poking, I'm angling. Let's put it that way. Even when I'm poking, I'm angling. You could sit here and poke them as they walk through the choke. You could sit here and poke them here. You could sit here and poke them here. It's fine. So you're finding yourself going for more backline threat all-in stuff because of the nature of Venture's mobility, because of the threat of Venture's burst. But even then, you don't always have to. Just as long as you're setting up ahead of time, period.
Okay.
But yes, it is not unusual for you to be going deeper. That's normal. Disaster, itching your nose or something. Use your burrow, then drill dash out of spawn. Because then what ends up happening is you burrow as the door is opening, drill dash, move, pop out, drill dash again. You got me? And I want to check something really quick on Wikipedia. Venture Overwatch.
Wikipedia.
Well, okay, not Wikipedia, but the wiki.
Okay.
You might move faster while you're burrowed.
I feel like I do just when I play it.
You might move faster when you're burrowed. It says 40% movement speed. Now, obviously, you do have to burrow, which slows you down, and come out of burrow, even just with a tap, which slows you down a little bit. But I do think overall it's a W to burrow, to move faster, even without drill dash. So it's just always better, I think.
I also get the cooldown reduction from drill dash, right?
Right, which is what I was saying. Like you burrow, you drill dash, pop out, drill dash again, right? Or drill dash to high ground, and then it's like it's way faster, way faster.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, setup. Remember, you got options here, right? You could go left, you could go right, you could go inside right, you could go top right. I think you know what's funny is watching you play Venture in these situations. You're forced to plan.
Okay, you know, that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
you're forced. You have to. Like you can't. Like what are you gonna sit here just like turn your brain off and shoot? Like what are you gonna shoot? Right. So it's kind of funny watching you. And you're like I would say this is. Yeah. Okay. So honestly, like this is a pretty bad plan here. Like this, it's kind of funny. It's like you're still doing the impatient choice, right? Like I shoot the hog, right? This is terrible.
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
Man, that's funny.
Well, I got high ground, okay.
Yeah, it's true. But you notice it's always mid-fight, right? You got to do some like one ridiculously stupid, impatient decision, and then you're like, okay, I guess I should do something right. It's the same thing with Tracer, right?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, this is good.
My aim could be better.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it was just mechanical goof-ups. You still created a lot of space. Did you get the rollout? Yes, you did.
I did this time.
There you go. All right. You're scaring me.
I know what I'm doing.
Hey, we set up. Yeah. Famous last words.
True.
I mean, it's pretty cheeky, but I get it. Like, worst case scenario, you can always just drill dash top, right? So you're fine.
Yeah, I'm not in immediate danger.
Mm-hmm. This is just stupid target priority. I'm not going to lie with you. I was with you here when I was like, all right, we're going to knock the hog back towards your team, and your team's with you, and you're up one. But you lost me here. I'm not going to lie. You lost me here.
Especially with the supports on the left
like
side.
They're right there, right? They're right there, you know?
I think my thought process was err on a deeper angle than the hog. So it might be more punishing to engage them, especially with the Cassidy coming back from spawn.
So you ready for this? I'm going to blow your mind. Don't move. Just stand here and shoot. Or walk here and stand here and shoot.
Okay, you blew my mind a little.
And then if you see an option to drop and go for a combo, great. The funny thing is just existing here, you will force cooldowns, which then will allow you to actually get the kill a second from now.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Your mobility will allow you to. That's the case with Genji, Tracer, Sombra. Your mobility allows you to force cooldowns with just your mouse one, and then you could use your cooldowns to secure the kill. At least that's the theory. Okay, and it works, right? It works. Like you're shooting them where here? Agony, especially with that DPS passive. Agony. You don't need to go for a combo.
Yeah.
Good trying the combo there. A little risky there. Didn't really have a high ground to go to, but it worked, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a congested place, and your supports are doing a great job keeping you up, so you're creating so much space, right?
Okay.
Again, I can't critique the fact that your brain was on, right?
Okay.
It's nice to see, you know. It's nice to see. Now, I might have maybe toyed with being a little quieter here because I think you're making enough noise to wake the dead. Like, what are you doing? Why are you saying "heyo"? Like, it's this moronic behavior.
Okay, when I play, I have like ADHD, and I just spam hello like whenever I'm not shooting anything.
I mean, again, this impatience, right? Impatience, right? You get what I'm saying? So, I hear you.
Okay, in my defense, people don't usually go that way.
True, but they're still gonna hear you saying "heyo," right? I think is the.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's fine. This is all good. I mean, just come on. This is just absolutely disgusting. I know what you're trying to do here. You know this is really dumb, obviously. But again, it's like just shoot. Just keep shooting. And his Reinhardt's going to be weeping. What is he supposed to do? Like, how is he supposed to win this game, right? So it's just a little bit of. Oh my days. It's just a little bit of impatience. I will again compliment you though on your setup. Listen, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like the coach that's never happy, right? Okay. Also, you suck. Why aren't you burrow drill dashing? But yeah, regardless, you did a good job. Right? You seriously did a good job. You carried that fight. Just wish you'd carried it more.
I could have dropped and then just immediately ulted too, or would you rather I just shoot?
Just shoot, force the cooldowns and the positions that will then allow you to ult safely. Because the thing is, as your ult, is you know it. Fade, Suzu, Ryan Shield, people going behind cover ruins it. So hold the position. You'll get the Suzu. You'll get the Fade. You'll get the Ryan split and confuse, which will then allow you to actually get kills with your ult.
Okay.
Yeah. The same things that enable your combos to work are the same things that are going to enable your ults to work. It's just going to be holding an angle and shooting, or setting up on a high ground and then like kind of reading the battlefield. Okay, now I know what you're going to do here, but what should you do here?
I would say just go into the building and just shoot from the right side.
You got it. Take an angle, set up. Literally 1 second of setup, but it's too much. You'd rather shoot Ryan Shield. Oh!
I do go there, yeah.
RKO'd out of nowhere. Oh!
I know.
You disappoint me.
No
you were so close to greatness. Let's see which.
No.
I'm curious. Was it like the fear of the Reaper? It might have been the Reaper.
I'm not sure.
I think you might have heard Reaper. Regardless. That's all right.
Yeah. Anti though.
I mean, the thing is like you end up running into the Reaper anyway. Just you run in front of the Reaper in front of the Rhine at the same time. So it's like, you know, choose your poison here.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So, okay. Honestly, lots of good stuff here.
Okay.
But specifically with Venture, what needs to be practiced?
I think ironically it's like the almost. I'm not going to say it's the opposite issue with Tracer, but I feel like some of the angles I take better angles as Venture since I know I have more mobility, but the impatience is punished a lot more than when I was on Tracer. Yeah, so my mid-fight planning was not as strong as when I was on Tracer.
I think it's because you know that you can one-shot people, you know, or the equivalent of, right? And so you're like, you know, I want to be pursuing those things, and you should be pursuing those things. But if your position doesn't immediately provide you that option, don't force it. Just shoot. And then the option will present itself.
Okay.
You know, if you're like, I'm here, but I can't really reach, like they're too far away, or they're playing Moira and she's just going to fade. Great. Because now she's not going to be able to poke you out. Right?
Okay. So to practice more impatience and wait for cooldowns before I really get into the fight.
All it is if you set up correctly with Venture, you will either be in a great spot for a one-shot or in a great spot for poke. And all you need to do is look at the situation, decide which one is appropriate. That's it.
Okay. I see.
That's it. I think obviously there was a little bit of setup needed there at some points, especially earlier in the second round. But I think for the most part, I think that's where you need to put your time in. And again, I want to remind you that through all of this VOD, Venture and Tracer, you were consistently very accurate in this slow, controlled environment of coming up with a good plan, with a good angle, with a good position, or a good setup. Now you need to practice doing that in a much more chaotic, stressful environment. And you said that you have like that ADHD of like, oh, I just need to be doing something. Well, guess what? You do need to be doing something. You do need to be setting up. You just don't need to be shooting shields. Does that make sense?
So I should be taking a deeper off angle and trying to poke the support, or
maybe
trying to set up somewhere.
Maybe. Right. Maybe it's not a deeper off angle. Maybe it's a shallow off angle. Maybe it's not an off angle at all. Remember, the point is that you just need to be planning your next steps, regardless of what those steps are, and doing so especially in the downtime when you have space to think. Because right now you're filling that space to think with just standing in main and just farming dopamine off of Rhine Shield, right? Instead of actually spending that time off of like, I'm going to get a real big cash out in about 15 seconds or 10 seconds or 5 seconds, right?
Okay.
That's the difference. Any questions?
You think that? I mean, do you think a lot of it is just like map control? Like if I study the maps more, or do you think that it's just general like setup stuff?
Why do you care about putting a label on it? You know, if it helps you to remember it, if it helps you to remember it better, sure. But then it doesn't matter what label I give it. It matters what label you give it. If you want to frame it as map control, sure. If you want to frame it as setup, sure. If you want to play it as planning or positioning, sure. I don't care. It's the same thing. Whatever helps you to remember it better, whatever speaks the most to you, whatever thing is most accurate in terms of your gameplay and your problems, right? It's not saying that like the truth of Overwatch is relative. It's just that what you need to work on is relevant to you. And so however you want to work with it. Yes, it has a lot to do with map control. Yes, it has a lot to do with setup. I don't care what term you want to use. Tomato.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Thank you. I don't really know that I have other questions. I mean, thank you so much for coaching today. Sorry about the whole time zone.
No. It ended up being just fine. So it was only like a 10-minute gap, but it ended up being fine. We were able to shuffle things around just fine. So